Tonight on Our News Live at 7, we take you inside communist China through the eyes of a Bahamian student living it firsthand. This as the U.S. and China edge closer to a trade war, leaving uncertainty across the globe. Plus, he walked away from the FNM in 2019, saying partisan politics wasn't cutting it. And now Reese Chipman says he's back, and he shares why he's decided to make amends with the party he once left behind. And from power to pushback, we trace the political rise and fall of former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis and how it all led to his removal from the FNM's election ticket. Then in Our News at 7:30, with declarations and a defiant message, the Coalition of Independents takes its movement to Grand Bahama, calling on Bahamians to be the change ahead of the 2026 election. Our News Live at 7 starts right now. Welcome to Our News Live at 7. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Candino Knowles. The global news cycle churning with constant updates and highlights of the pending trade war between China and the United States. It's left a lot of uncertainty in markets and for consumers. Tonight, our Joshua Williams follows the story inside communist China to a Bahamian student studying and living there.
With no clear resolution in sight to the global trade war between world superpowers, at least for now, the standoff between the United States and China appears to be worsening. China increased its tariffs on U.S. imports to 125% on Friday, hitting back against U.S. President Donald Trump's decision to hike duties on Chinese goods to 145%. And with some already feeling the effects in the United States and other global markets, I spoke to Bahamian student Bashar Isaac studying Mandarin in China for an insider's view. Surprisingly, she says she's not that worried. Here's why.
As far as tariffs go, they more affect the consumer. And I'm in China, so we're the main manufacturers, we're the exporters. So I am more concerned for my fellow Bahamians on how they're going to feel this blowback, seeing as though the U.S. will, I feel, catch the brunt of it, seeing as though they're the main consumers that we have to go through as well. But as far as being in China, I don't think we're going to be affected very much by it.
China is known for its socialistic ideals with a huge influence on what's presented in the media. Isaacs believes this is perhaps the reason why most Chinese are not discussing the matter at home.
So unfortunately, when it comes to international news, especially politics, China is not a place where those topics are openly discussed. So you won't hear about it on your day-to-day lives. I think they've become accustomed to not discussing anything too political, and it's the fact that I don't believe they dabble in too much international news.
While her fellow schoolmates and friends are not worried, Isaacs tells me as an international student, she's keeping an eye on global trends.
I am supported by my parents who are back home. So when they feel the financial blow of the prices rising, that is going to trickle down to me. But otherwise, once the Bahamian dollar maintains its value, I believe I'll still be good. If anything, we are worried about you, and we're really hoping that the government finds a way to make a direct trade route from China to the Bahamas so that we don't have to worry about the trade wars between the U.S. and China right now.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Joshua Williams.
All right, thanks for that, Josh. Former Centerville MP Reese Chipman is back in the Free National Movement after walking away from the party in 2019. At the time, Chipman said partisan politics wasn't moving the country forward. But speaking with Our News today, he shared why he's decided to return and reconcile with the party.
It is my party of choice. I'm even more so motivated by the leadership. I do believe Mr. Pintard is focused. I believe his leadership style is important for us to recognize. I mean, this young leader has also reached out to have the likes of other leaders on the team.
Chipman won his seat in the 2017 general elections by 4 votes over former Prime Minister Perry Christie. We also asked him if we could see him return to frontline politics.
I do think that I can have an impact in terms of national development in or outside of politics. For the most part, if the party needs me in front line, I usually would acquiesce. At this stage, I find myself in a position where I can help even outside of politics.
And Chipman is also calling the F&M's move to cut ties with Dr. Hubert Minnis the right one, saying the former PM's time has passed after a crushing defeat at the polls. Berthany McDermott has his perspective coming up in Our News at 7:30. And as the opposition Free National Movement ended all speculation over the future of former Prime Minister and Killarney MP Dr. Hubert Minnis, it brings to an end a colourful and in many ways historic relationship between Dr. Minnis and the party. Tonight, Megan Shepherd takes a look back at the highs and lows of his political career.
Veteran gynecologist and parliamentarian Dr. Hubert Minnis entered frontline politics in 2007 as the elected member of parliament for the Killarney constituency. He was appointed as Minister of Health in the cabinet of Prime Minister Hubert Ingram. But his party's loss of the 2012 general election and eventual resignation of Ingram as leader and Abaco MP opened the door to his ascension to leader. But internal party strife led to an unprecedented vote of no confidence in Minnis by his parliamentary colleagues in December 2016. 5 F&M members petitioned the Governor-General to remove him, making Loretta Butler Turner the official leader of the opposition as the sitting Long Island MP. But Minnis held on to the party's leadership, steering the party into the 2017 general election on a campaign platform of better governance, anti-corruption measures, and economic reforms. He led the largest political victory in history with a 35-4 seat win over Perry Christie and the PLP. That same election gave Michael Pintard his first election victory as the Member of Parliament for Marco City and ministerial appointment to head agriculture and marine resources. 2 years in, and Dr. Minnis would be facing the worst hurricane on record, followed by a global pandemic that shut down the world, both of which drew heavy criticism in some quarters for the way his administration responded. MPs Reese Chipman and Vaughn Miller left during this term as well, and tensions mounted. Dr. Minnis shocked the nation, calling a snap election nearly 8 months before the anticipated date. His gamble backfired in September 2021 with a 32-7 loss in favor of Brave Davis and the PLP. The defeat was blamed on Minnis's leadership, which eventually led to a challenge by Michael Pintard at a special convention in February 2022. By June 2024, the two met again in race for leader, following perceived acts of power grabs by Minnis in Parliament. Pintard solidified his position and seemingly brought Minnis's leadership aspirations to an end. In a seemingly final political blow, Pintard and his executive council have ended the former prime minister's career in the F&M frontline politics with the announcement that Dr. Minnis will not be giving a candidacy in the 2026 race. Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepherd.
All right, thanks a lot for that, Megan. Dozens of Bahamians, many from Grand Bahama, have been pouring money into a financial platform called Creators Alliance. The pitch? Invest cash, recruit others, and watch your money grow. But last week, things took a sudden turn when several members say they were kicked out of a WhatsApp group used to share updates, leaving many feeling confused, concerned, and possibly scammed. Economic Affairs Minister Michael Halkitis says he expects the Securities Commission to step in and investigate.
Try to get to the bottom of it, and if laws were broken, they have mechanism by which people will be brought to justice. But what I say to individuals is, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. And so, there's no substitute for working hard, saving a bit of money, and doing it consistently. These schemes where people say, if you give this, I'll double your money or I'll triple your money, it's not true. And I know sometimes, the story might be sweet and the temptation might be there, but, if it sounds, that's the advice I would give. If it sounds too good to be true, it is.
And Halkitis also had a message for anyone looking to grow their money.
There's a maxim, there's a rule, the higher the reward, the higher the risk. The higher the risk, the higher the reward. So, there's no one anywhere that can promise you high returns with low risk. It doesn't add up. And so whenever you hear that, I just encourage people to run away as fast as you can.
The family of American Denari McCalman is calling for justice, saying they're not buying the explanation that their son drowned in waters near Cabbage Beach, which was according to police. The 23-year-old was vacationing with his parents and had just checked into Atlantis on Paradise Island around 8:30 p.m. on April 4th. After dinner that night, his parents said he went for a walk, never returned. Worried when he didn't answer calls, the family grew increasingly concerned. The family says around 5 a.m., police contacted his mother to say Denari had been found unresponsive on the beach. His mother, who works as a nurse, says there are several inconsistencies in the case, and the family now plans to seek an independent autopsy.
I was told that was the first phase of the autopsy because I questioned the validity of what they were saying. From what I saw in the photograph they showed me of my son on the Monday that we had to go to identify him, he would have had either strangulation or something going on with him. Because he had, as I said, a lot of clear gunk, like when you gag and it's there on the mouth. It was there on the mouth. So no, I'm not accepting that because there is no way Denari would have gone to the beach. Denari does not go to the beach.
Now, his mother also pushing back against rumors that Denari spat on someone, saying she believes those claims are false. She also claims the family's requests to view CCTV footage or access other resources were denied by Atlantis. She described her son as a fun-loving young man who loved basketball and producing music. Their attorney, Keith Seymour, making a public appeal.
Somebody knows something. I will be careful what I'm saying. Somebody knows something about what happened. And all it is we want the investigation to reflect what has happened because my client is owed a duty of care. When she paid all of that money to come to Atlantis to go on vacation, that they be in a safe environment. That's all she wants.
All right, we are continuing to follow this story. Be sure and stay tuned to Our News for all the latest. Another life lost to gun violence, this time early Friday morning on Peter Street just off East Street. Police say they were alerted around 3:30 a.m. by shot spotter technology. And when officers got to the scene, they say they found a man in the backseat of a car, shot and unresponsive. Sadly, he didn't make it. According to Our News records, this marks the 22nd homicide for the year. And beloved Bahamian author, poet, and cultural champion, Patricia Glinton Micolas has died at the age of 75. Her passing confirmed by her husband in a heartfelt Instagram post. The two shared one son. A former University of the Bahamas faculty member, Glinton Micolas spent her life exploring and preserving Bahamian identity through her writing and research. From folklore and art to poetry, fiction, and history, her work helped shape how we see ourselves as a people. She leaves behind a legacy as one of the country's most influential literary and cultural voices. Our condolences tonight to her entire family, friends, and all those whose lives she touched. All right, we've got much more to get to tonight, but for now, it's time for your first look at temperatures. Meteorologist Greg Thompson, he's standing by in the Weather Center. Greg?
Yeah, thanks, Ginuna. Happy TGIF, everybody. Warm day around the islands. Temperatures once again into the 80s. We are settling near the 80-degree mark right now outside our studios. Few clouds on the outside. Your winds are out of the north-northeast at 7 miles per hour. Feels like temperature is at 81. Right now, temperatures around the islands, we're looking at some 70s, upper 70s across the northern islands. Freeport, Grand Bahama, 78, 78 in Great Harbor Key, 75 in Marsh Harbor, Abaco, Alistown, Bimini, 76. Then we pick up 79 in Nicholstown, Andros, and in Governor's Harbor here in the capital, 80 degrees. And then we move into the central Bahamas, 79, Kemps Bay, Georgetown, the Exumas, Deadman's Key, Long Island, 79 there, 78 in Black Point, that's in the Exuma Keys, 77 in Arthurstown, Cat Island, and in Copen Town, San Salvador, Port Nelson, Rum Key. You guys are 78 at this hour, and then into the southeast Bahamas, 79s once again in Duncantown, Ragged Island, Colonel Hill, Cricket Island, and in Delectable Bay. 78 in Abrahams Bay, Meguana. Matthew Town was 79, and our good neighbors to the southeast, Turks and Caicos Islands, you are 79 at this hour as well. Satellite radar composite, it is quiet across most of the chain of island. We still have the residual moisture with that frontal boundary down there, southeast Bahamas. Most of the activity staying along the northern coast of Hispaniola. Also, we're seeing a couple of showers in the Florida Straits as well as in Gulf Stream, but none of those impacting the chain of islands. Maybe an isolated shower in the Grand Bahama area as some of that shower activity sinks towards the south, but all in all, it should be a beautiful night. I'm looking for a lovely weekend. That's your first look at weather. Stick with us. A look at your extended forecast is still to come.
Coming up in sports, we have no idea what took World Athletics so long to ratify Carlos Brown Jr.'s time from last week, but they finally did. We hear from him and end your week with the only way we know how, Top Plays.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over, and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
Welcome to Our Sports at 7, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Carlos Brown Jr. turned in the 3rd fastest 100-meter time in the world this year and is now the 4th fastest Bahamian ever in the event. It set the tone for what could be a historic season for the 19-year-old phenom. Brown's 10.04 seconds run at the Splice and Connect B3A's Carifta Trials on April 4th put the track and field world on notice. His time ranks behind Bayanda Walaza of South Africa at 9.99 seconds and Lachlan Kennedy of Australia at 10.03 seconds. Coming into the season, Brown had a previous personal best of 10.30 seconds. The last time Great Britain played in the World Baseball Classic, it featured 8 Bahamian players and 2 coaches on the roster. In 2026, there could be one addition to the list that brings definite star power. Jazz Chisholm Jr. recently expressed his interest in joining the Great Britain roster for next year's marquee event in international baseball. Chisholm previously announced his intention to play for Team Great Britain in the 2023 WBC, but his then club, the Miami Marlins, reportedly did not permit him to participate. Pools were recently released for the 2026 WBC, which takes place next March. One former collegiate football player is using his network to attract future generations to the sport in Grand Bahama. The Shockwave Elite 5, the brainchild of Eugene McMinns, recently launched his 10-week Youth Flag Football League featuring over 80 student athletes. According to the organization, Shockwave Elite 5 is committed to creating a positive and empowering environment where participants can thrive as both athletes and individuals. And your 10YS Plays of the Week. That'll do it for Our Sports. Stay tuned to Our News at 7:30 for details on these stories and more.
When our news comes back from the break, we turn our spotlight to stories making headlines across the world as a terrifying scene in Boca Raton. A plane plunges just after takeoff, slamming a car onto train tracks and igniting a fireball. Plus, no live streaming and no unblurring nudity without a parent's okay. Meta's rolling out new protections for users under 16. And St. Kitts and Nevis stripped citizens over an investment scandal, with 13 families out after officials uncover lies in the country's citizenship by investment program. The story when Our News returns.
At RBC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a second year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering economic success, and together we can pave the road to a thriving business community.
We want to offer clients the best in technology.
What Custom Computers is offering for their live business partnership is HP Pro small form factor desktop. We're including with it the 27-inch conferencing monitor, so you can have that meeting at home or at work in a private area, just like you're sitting next to that person.
This is Our News. Welcome back. We turn our attention now to stories making headlines across the world. A small plane crashed near a major highway in Boca Raton, Florida, Friday morning, pushing a car onto nearby railroad tracks and sparking a fiery scene. According to authorities, 3 people were on board. The FAA says the Cessna 310 took off from Boca Raton Airport bound for Tallahassee, but went down around 10:20 a.m. just after takeoff. The crash forced the closure of several roads and rail lines. Officials say the plane struck a car, pushing it onto the tracks. The FAA and NTSB are investigating. Michelle Obama shutting down rumors about trouble in her marriage. The former First Lady addressed the chatter on a podcast, saying people just couldn't believe she was making choices for herself, not skipping events because of marital issues, but simply taking control of her own calendar. Obama said she felt some guilt stepping back from the spotlight. The Obamas marked 32 years of marriage last October. Instagram users under 16 won't be able to live stream or unblur nudity in DMs without a parent's okay. Meta says it's stepping up teen safety across Instagram, Facebook, and Messenger. The move builds on parental controls launched last year to help monitor teen activity. Other protections include blocking DMs from strangers. The updates roll out first in the United States, in the UK, Canada, and Australia before going global in the coming months. And St. Kitts and Nevis cracking down on shady dealings in its citizenship by investment program. The government has revoked the citizenship of 13 people and their families after an investigation revealed they lied about meeting the investment requirements. The program lets foreigners buy citizenship by investing in the country, but the United States and Europe have raised red flags about abuse. Now, the island nation blacklisting agencies that offered fake discounts and cutting ties with companies that didn't hold up their end of the deal. Still to come in Our News, today in history, find out interesting facts about the day that was April 11th. Then in Our News at 7:30, former MP Reece Chipman says the F&M party made the right move, cutting ties with former PM Dr. Hubert Minnis, insisting it's time to move on from a leader voters already rejected. And MSC Cruises' private island in Bimini, transforming from a vacation hotspot to a key player in protecting the Bahamas' marine environment. How Ocean Key is making waves in conservation efforts when Our News returns.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over, and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply.
This is Our News. Welcome back. On this day in Bahamian history in 1990, Exuma International Airport in Morstown was officially opened. In 2007, New Zealander William Trubridge set a freediving world record at Dean's Blue Hole in Long Island, reaching 82 meters in 3 minutes and 9 seconds. He was unaided by fins, ropes, or weights. And in 2017, Parliament was dissolved by then Prime Minister Perry Christie. Elections were set for May 10th, where the PLP lost in a landslide to the FNM, led by Dr. Hubert Minnis. All right, from sweet treats to island beats, it's been 40 years since Bahamas Air first touched down in Orlando, Florida. And the national flag carrier marked the milestone with a sky-high celebration. Our Ricky Barry ends this half hour. She was on the historic flight, and now she's taking you, our viewers, for the ride.
Happy 40th, Bahamas Air and Orlando International. Mwah, from the Bahamas.
It's been 40 years since Bahamas Air began servicing flights into Orlando, Florida, and the airline brought Our News along for this celebratory ride. But before we took off, I wanted to speak with the people that helped the flagship carrier accomplish this milestone, the Bahamian travelers.
It's fabulous. I feel grateful to be on that 40th flight, 40th year of its flight, inaugural flight. I fly it all the time because it gets me there.
I think this is a testament of their tenacity and their commitment to the Bahamians to get us where we want to go.
Yeah, we don't like the delays, but it's for our safety, and I appreciate it.
But there wasn't much delay.
We're getting ready to take off. Our flight was set for 12:11. And we are getting ready to go.
Bahamas Air's exemplary service into and out of Orlando, Florida.
The 407 greeted us with costumes, cake, and culinary delights, all in recognition of the 2-score anniversary, a feat Director of Aviation Dr. Kenneth Romer doesn't take for granted.
We've come a very long way from that first combined inaugural flight. Bahamas Air will continue to go, and for the frequency of flights over this now speaks volumes to the increased demand that has not diminished over the last 4 decades.
Bahamas Air Managing Director Tracy Cooper had this message for Bahamians.
We continue to say thank you. We continue to encourage you to come on. You know, we would keep you happy. We're going to carry the kitchen and the zinc and everything else.
And we had this message for Bahamas Air.
Happy 40th, Bahamas Air.
Reporting for Our News.
This is Ronnie Cash.
And I'm Ricky Barry.
All right, thanks so much for that, Ricky. Happy 40th, Bahamas Air. If you want to watch that story again and for all of today's top stories, you can visit ournews.bs. That's going to do it for us in News at 7. Joining us now is Italia Hall with the latest headlines. Italia, you were out yesterday. I know you were in Bimini.
Yes.
Megan was in the chair. We had Danielle for Thursdays are the new Fridays.
Okay.
She was at Ceylon, and she was reminiscing about the Wine and Food Festival. Megan also had a nostalgic moment, but that made me reminisce. So I got this. Listen.
We made it, yes.
This was from the Jerk Jam when Shaggy performed, and you and I finally made it out.
We made it out.
We've been telling the audience forever and ever
we're going to go on a date. There it is.
We've never been able to go except for Wine and Food Festival.
Yeah,
so
here's the proof,
I just wanted to put that proof there so folks know.
That made my
folks know
Friday.
We did make the date and kept it.
We did. We had such a great time.
It was real fun, real fun. And again,
that,
Megan said she's going to put in for me as well to get the tickets for next year. So I'll ask her to do it for you too.
For sure. Thanks, guys. Well, coming up, MSC Cruises private island in Bimini transforming from a vacation hotspot to a key player in protecting their environment. Here are your latest headlines.
First tonight on Our News Live at 7:30, former Member of Parliament Reece Chipman backs the FNM's decision to part ways with Dr. Hubert Minnis, saying the former Prime Minister's time is up. Our Berthany McDermott has the story straight ahead. Also, high energy, fiery speeches and a call to action. The Coalition of Independents hosting a rally in Hunters, Grand Bahama. Plus, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell addressing passport delays. We have his full comments coming up. And later, 2 American tourists raped in separate jet ski incidents. The Ministry of Transport urges the public to avoid unlicensed operators as safety concerns grow. And that's all coming up when Our News Live at 7:30 returns.
Inti Corporation is on the move, day by day, panel by panel. Our commitment to sustainable energy becomes more real. With each milestone, Inti redefines what is possible. Not only are the Lucayas solar power projects on the island of Grand Bahama growing in scale, they are setting a new standard for energy independence in the Bahamas. These state-of-the-art solar farms at the Fairfield and Devon sites, once completed, will harness the power of the sun to generate 9.5 megawatts of clean, sustainable energy. Inti is on the move as a beacon of progress and innovation that is rapidly transforming our energy landscape. Witness the future of sustainable energy unfolding on the island of Grand Bahama as Inti Corporation shines brighter than ever. Inti Corporation, powering your world, powering your future.
Every season creates an opportunity for you to enjoy the comfort and security of your most valuable assets. Unfortunately, termites are common and very unwanted guests that never stop eating. With Strucum, you can enjoy the peace of mind as we protect your investment with our 3-year fumigation warranty. Strucum, #1 in pest control services.
What if I told you Wendy's has a new burger? With a flavor so secret, it's almost too delicious to handle. Well, now it's time to unlock that flavor. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger. We can't tell you everything, but we can tell you that it's packed with flavor, including our secret barbecue sauce. Try the new sweet and smoky barbecue cheeseburger today. Available for a limited time.
Welcome to Our News. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Natalia Hall. Former Member of Parliament Reece Chipman believes the decision to drop former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis from the FNM's ticket was the best move for the party. Chipman says he doesn't see the relevance of holding on to the former Prime Minister who was overwhelmingly ousted in the last election. Our Berthany McDermott reports.
I don't see the relevance. I don't think he is as nationally relevant as he thinks he is, and that's just a personal opinion.
Dropping former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis from the FNM's ticket won't hurt the party's chances in the next election, according to former Centerville MP Reece Chipman. Chipman is throwing his support behind the FNM's decision, saying that it didn't take him by surprise. Chipman went even further, saying it appears there may be a personal agenda involved.
When leaders do not do the honorable thing, in terms of do not do the honorable thing or seem not to be doing the honorable thing, it may appear that the agenda is personal.
Now, as concerns continue to arise over if the FNM will be able to retain the Killarney seat without Dr. Minnis as its MP, Chipman says he doesn't believe that will be an issue.
So it really, my vote in Killarney was not about the individual, but about the party. And so I don't see his not being here as one that would impact the overall political landscape for the Free National Movement.
FNM leader Michael Pintard made the announcement Sunday in front of a packed Marquis Street headquarters. Pintard, however, admitted Dr. Minnis did not agree. Dr. Minnis has since promised a statement this week. The Killarney FNM Association has called the move by the party unfair and a violation of the Constitution. Members say they will not support any other candidate in the area. Meanwhile, Chipman, who was fired from his government post under the Minnis administration and later resigned from the party to become an independent MP, says the party's agenda must come first. He says he believes if Dr. Minnis remains in the FNM, it will damage the party's image.
We want to remain relevant. And with Dr. Minnis on the slate, it will hinder progress.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Berthany McDermott.
Thanks, Berthany. And as the opposition Free National Movement ended all speculation over the future of former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis, it brings to an end a colorful and in many ways a historic relationship between Dr. Minnis and the FNM tonight. Our Megan Shepard takes a look back at the highs and lows of his political career.
Veteran gynecologist and parliamentarian Dr. Hubert Minnis entered frontline politics in 2007 as the elected member of parliament for the Killarney constituency. He was appointed as Minister of Health in the cabinet of Prime Minister Hubert Ingram. But his party's loss of the 2012 general election and eventual resignation of Ingram as leader and Abaco MP opened the door to his ascension to leader. But internal party strife led to an unprecedented vote of no confidence in Minnis by his parliamentary colleagues in December 2016. 5 FNM members petitioned the Governor-General to remove him, making Loretta Butler Turner the official leader of the opposition as the sitting Long Island MP. But Minnis held on to the party's leadership, steering the party into the 2017 general election on a campaign platform of better governance, anti-corruption measures, and economic reforms. He led the largest political victory in history with a 35-4 seat win over Perry Christie and the PLP. That same election gave Michael Pintard his first election victory as the Member of Parliament for Marco City and ministerial appointment to head agriculture and marine resources. 2 years in, and Dr. Minnis would be facing the worst hurricane on record, followed by a global pandemic that shut down the world, both of which drew heavy criticism in some quarters for the way his administration responded. MPs Reese Chipman and Vaughn Miller left during this term as well, and tensions mounted. Dr. Minnis shocked the nation, calling a snap election nearly 8 months before the anticipated date. His gamble backfired in September 2021 with a 32-7 loss in favor of Brave Davis and the PLP. The defeat was blamed on Minnis's leadership, which eventually led to a challenge by Michael Pintard at a special convention in February 2022. By June 2024, the two met again in race for leader, following perceived acts of power grabs by Minnis in Parliament. Pintard solidified his position and seemingly brought Minnis's leadership aspirations to an end. In a seemingly final political blow, Pintard and his executive council have ended the former prime minister's career in the FNM frontline politics with the announcement that Dr. Minnis will not be giving a candidacy in the 2026 race. Reporting for Our News, I'm Megan Shepard.
All right, thanks for that, Megan. While with Bahamians across the country gearing up for the 2026 general elections, the Coalition of Independents is making its voice heard, this time in Grand Bahama. Party supporters packed the YMCA in Hunters, Grand Bahama for a high-energy rally where music, cheers, and fiery speeches set the tune for what the COI calls a political revolution. The rally opened with a call for personal and national transformation, urging Bahamians to stop waiting on change and instead be the change. During her address, COI Chair Charlotte Green made it clear that the party is not just talking about change, they're actively living it.
We challenged the system. We exposed the corruption and demanded transparency and accountability long before the spotlight ever turned our way. The Coalition of Independents was fighting for the people. The COI advocated and campaigned on good governance, transparency, and accountability. We took the time to educate the Bahamian people on the role and responsibility of our natural resources and the value of our country.
Also making his debut for the first time at the party's rally since he crossed the floor was Central Grand Bahama MP Iram Lewis.
I stand before you
no longer solely under the banner I once carried, but as a proud member of the Coalition of Independents. A party that represents you, a party that is all about you. I know this may have been unexpected. I made the decision not lightly, but with deep conviction, having received in my mind confirmation from the Almighty God. And what I believe is in the truest interest of each and every one of you.
Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says they're noticing an uptick in Bahamians expelled from the United States experiencing a delay in obtaining passports. This comes as U.S. President Donald Trump's administration has cracked down on its immigration policy since coming to office. Thousands of people have already been deported to several countries, including El Salvador. Mitchell says while there are a number of Bahamians experiencing delays who may have been expelled, a process must be followed.
Bahamian laws, though, changed in 1973, and now a passport is not easy to get. Many Bahamians who have to leave the United States are complaining about the procedures to get a Bahamian passport. But since 1973, our laws are very particular about who is a Bahamian and how you prove you're a Bahamian. Our officers are strictly enforcing these passport rules. To those Bahamians trying to get home, we do care, but be patient, for things have changed.
In January, the Tribune reported that 426 Bahamian citizens were under final orders of removal as of November 2024, according to a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement report. Up to this time, it's not clear how many, if any, Bahamians at all have been expelled from the U.S. since. But for Mitchell, it's important for Bahamians living in the U.S. to follow immigration laws.
But the Universal Declaration of Human Rights gives as a human right to every person the right to leave their country, and the corollary is to go to another country and to return to your own country if you like, once you follow the rules. God bless the Bahamians who found opportunities in the United States. Those who infringe the rules or even suspected now of violating the rules, though, are being expelled or frozen out.
The Ministry of Energy and Transport revealing that illicit jet ski operators are responsible for 2 reported rapes of American visitors within the past month. Earlier this week, the United States Embassy in Nassau sent out a security alert warning its citizens not to rent jet skis due to the reported rapes and other assaults dating back to last year. In a statement, the ministry warned not only tourists but residents as well to stay away from operators not registered by the Port Department. They're also reminding you to ensure jet ski operators are conducted within designated areas, request verification of licensing status, and ensure the craft used is registered properly. A 23-year-old man who secretly recorded explicit videos of his ex-girlfriend has been jailed for 6 months. Angelo Mortimer pleaded guilty to charges of voyeurism and intentional libel at his arraignment before Assistant Chief Magistrate Carolyn Vo Evans. Mortimer posted the revenge porn on Facebook back in October 2024. He claimed he made a post as payback for a post that his ex had made about his mother. Continuing their path on educating the public on legislative reform, members of the Nassau, Bahamas alumni chapter of Delta Sigma Theta are hosting a community legal aid clinic tomorrow. The clinic, being done in collaboration with Eugene DuPuche Law School, is a part of several events that the sorority has hosted over the last week. President of the alumni chapter is Crystal Comer.
This is just an initiative that's geared towards empowering members of our community. We are a community service organization, and so this is an event where we cater to the needs of the community. Yes, we would have met with the Director of Public Prosecutions last week, and we had the all-women's debate, and all of this comes together as part of our legislative reform to educate, inform the public and members of the community.
Director of Eugene DuPuche Legal Aid Clinic, Nicole Sutherland King, says what's important is access to legal advice for all.
Certainly, as with every place else in the world, people are faced with legal challenges every day. Knowing how to deal with those challenges is really important. Otherwise, persons may not have the ability to ensure that their rights are protected. Costs tend to be prohibitive, and so the CLAP program is intended to meet some of that need and make legal advice available to members of the public who may not be able to afford the services of members of the private bar.
All
right, good stuff. Well, nice weather conditions outside the Our News studios as we get ready for the weekend. Meteorologist Greg Thompson is in the Weather Center with your first look at weather. Greg.
Yeah, thanks, Natalia, and welcome back, everybody, on this TGIF Friday. Lovely evening setting up for us on the outside, 80 degrees, a little on the warm side as well. Few clouds, your winds out of the northeast at 7 miles per hour. We do expect those winds to fall off light and variable later on. Feels like temperature is at 81. Satellite radar composite, high pressure system across area, very weak one, so we're seeing some light winds and not much in terms of any significant clouds or rainfall because the air mass is kind of dry. We do have some spotty showers in the Florida Straits as well as the Gulf Stream. Most of the activity will stay to the west of us. Remnants of the front boundary still hanging out near the southeast Bahamas. That's going to actually stall, and we expect a couple of clouds, maybe even an isolated shower down there as well. That's a quick check on conditions around the islands. Stick with us. We'll tell you more about your weekend forecast still to come.
Still to come on Our News, MSC Cruises fulfilling a promise. This as they officially open their state-of-the-art Marine Conservation Center on Ocean Key. Plus, the Ministry of Tourism is putting the spotlight on protecting the nation's beaches and waters this April during Coastal Awareness Month. When Our News continues, stay with us.
Are you or a loved one under medical care? Do you need affordable medical supplies? Ports International is the largest home healthcare supplier. Medical supplies at the very best price, and you can even shop online. From hospital beds to wound care, wheelchairs to walkers, Ports is a one-stop shop for your medical supplies, and we accept insurance. We have online shopping and 2 locations to serve you, at the Airport Industrial Park and Shirley Street. We also ship to the Family Islands. Shop online and visit us on Facebook. Call Ports at 377-1771.
Once I had a girl, she called me pain. Left me in the cold and pouring rain. So I decided to put her down. I took a trip to Cowboy Town.
Just 20 miles south of Allenstown, Bimini, MSC Cruises' private island Ocean Key is stepping into a new role. What was once just a tropical getaway is now a part of a global effort to protect the country's marine environment. Let's take a look. On Thursday, Ocean Key proved it's more than just a tropical getaway. It's now a key player in the fight against climate change and marine conservation. Prime Minister Philip Davis joined MSC Cruise executives, government officials, researchers, and students for the grand opening of a new marine conservation center, a promise by MSC that's now been fulfilled. The new state-of-the-art facility includes an aquarium, biolab, lecture hall, and discovery pavilion, all built to advance education, research, and coral reef recovery. MSC Foundation's chairman is Pierre Francesco Vago.
Our journey here in the Bahamas with the Bahamian people is only just beginning. Together with our newest partner, BAMSI and University of the Bahamas, we will support the training of this and next generation marine scientists and conservation practitioners.
Member of Parliament for West Grand Bahama and Bimini, Kingsley Smith, applauded the transformation.
We deeply welcome MSC's commitment and long-term investment demonstrated by establishing this center right here on Ocean Key.
While Environment and Marine Resources Minister Vaughn Miller shared the importance of coral.
They are a food source and act as natural barriers.
Prime Minister Davis also addressing the crowd.
By equipping our students with the knowledge to take part in restoring our coral reefs and marine environment. In doing so, we are also giving them access where before they had none. We are allowing them to get their foot in the door for opportunities that are vital to our future as a nation.
as we can see, the day here at Ocean Key was exciting for everyone as the Marine Conservation Center officially opened to the public. For more information, you can visit mscfoundation.org. Reporting from Ocean Key for Our News, I'm Natalia Hall. All right, such a great day in Ocean Key. Well, the Ministry of Tourism is recognizing Coastal Awareness Month, an initiative that encourages Bahamians to take part in beach and waterway cleanup, all aimed at protecting our environment and raising awareness about marine conservation. Over in Grand Bahama, a number of initiatives are being rolled out during the month of April. A press conference was recently held to outline this month's activities and to welcome corporate and civic partners on board. Officials say they'll be visiting schools and civic organizations across the island to deliver presentations on the importance of preserving the country's natural resources. Coordinator of Sustainable Tourism at the Ministry of Tourism, Jermaine Johnson, is encouraging all residents to do their part.
We have partners like Waterkeepers who will be where we'll be participating with them with mangrove planting, again, protecting our coastlines from hurricanes and weather with the planting of mangroves, which is our first line defense. We have partnerships with a number of schools, again, in terms of beach cleanups and the civic organizations. And so we're tackling some of the beaches and making sure that those communities are cleaned and those environments are clean. Xanadu and Williamstown, to be more specific.
The ministry is also partnering with the Grand Bahama Power Company, the Keep Grand Bahama Clean Committee of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, and Bahamas Professional Women International to carry out the initiatives.
We are proud to focus and spread the education on how we can protect our Bahamian coastline and also the threats that there are to them and assist with conservation efforts. So one of the ways that we will be doing that this month is a cleanup that we have scheduled on the 12th of April, where we will be focusing on the waterway, the coastline along the waterway at Dover Sound.
The balance that we bring to the table is climate change and the importance of going green.
It's very important to us because that affects everything, our economy, our lifestyle. And so we are very enthused about partnering with them. We're having a cleanup on August 5th, where we are going to 5 different beaches, and anybody from the community can join us.
Coming up in sports, Carlos Brown Jr. reacts to running the 4th fastest 100-meter time in Bahamian history. Could Jazz join Team Great Bahamas? Yes, we call it that on purpose. And send you into the weekend with your top players of the week.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, don't miss our daily updates from Carifta Swimming. The best of Carifta, the best of Team Bahamas, the best coverage only on RTV.
Calling all Alive Fiber basketball fans. Get ready to experience the NBA Finals live. You can enter an all-expense-paid trip to not one, but 2 NBA Finals games. It's simple. Just sign up for our Alive NBA League Pass or Infinite Sports X Package by May 16th. Stay connected, enjoy blazing fast internet, and score your chance to witness the NBA action up close. Don't miss out. Visit AliveFiber.com and take your shot at NBA glory. Terms and conditions apply. It's good to be alive.
Welcome to Our Sports, presented by 10th Year Seniors. I'm Ronaldo Dorset. Let's do show. Carlos Brown Jr. turned in the 3rd fastest 100-meter time in the world this year and is now the 4th fastest Bahamian ever in the event. It set the tone for what could be a historic season for the 19-year-old phenom. Brown's 10.04 seconds run at the Splice and Connect B3A's Carifta Trials on April 4th put the track and field world on notice. His time ranks behind Bayanda Walaza of South Africa at 9.99 seconds and Lachlan Kennedy of Australia at 10.03 seconds. Coming into the season, Brown had a previous personal best of 10.30 seconds. In February, he ran 10.112 seconds, which was ruled illegal by World Athletics, and followed that in March with a 10.26 seconds.
I just wanted to thank God for allowing me to go out there and run that fast, because I had like a little issue with my hamstring, but I just put my faith in God and went out there and hopefully did my best, and I did.
The last time Great Britain played in the World Baseball Classic, it featured 8 Bahamian players and 2 coaches on the roster. In 2026, there could be one addition to the list that brings definite star power. Jazz Chisholm Jr. recently expressed his interest in joining the Great Britain roster for next year's marquee event in international baseball. Chisholm previously announced his intention to play for Team Great Britain in the 2023 WBC, but his then club, the Miami Marlins, reportedly did not permit him to participate. Pools were recently released for the 2026 WBC, which takes place next March. Great Britain is slotted to play in Pool B alongside the United States, Mexico, Brazil, and Italy. One former collegiate football player is using his network to attract future generations to the sport in Grand Bahama. The Shockwave Elite 5, the brainchild of Eugene McMinns, recently launched his 10-week Youth Fly Football League featuring over 80 student athletes. According to the organization, Shockwave Elite 5 is committed to creating a positive and empowering environment where participants can thrive as both athletes and individuals. A great focus of the organization is offering community building exercises off the field to foster growth in education, financial literacy, and life skills. McMinns began his football journey locally in the Bahamas Flag Football League before making the move to Canada, where he starred for Holland College and the Acadia Axemen. It's Friday, so that means everyone needs a little top players in their life, yes, especially you. Let's get to it. At 5, back in AA baseball and back doing what he does, Christian Robinson goes yard. Expect the call this season. At 4, Kiesra Thomas is already looking like a star of the future. It's just a matter of which direction she chooses to go. She qualified in 3 events for the upcoming Carifta Games. At 3, Jakario Wilson, 2 seconds ahead of the qualifying standard in the 400-meter hurdles and a 1.5 seconds ahead of the standard in the 100-meter hurdles. At 2, Egan Neely's 200-meter time at trials was so fast it would have won the under-20 boys race. By the way, he's just several tenths of a second away from the Carifta record in the 400 as well. And finally, at 1, we end the newscast the way we started. Just over 10 seconds of greatness from Carlos Brown Jr. That'll do it for our sports. This is 10YS. This time next week, we'll be in full Carifta fever, chasing the longest winning streak in swimming and ending the longest winning streak in track and field. Stranger things have happened in the world, and that's just in the last few months. Back to the studio.
When our news comes back from the break, beautiful weather expected for the weekend. However, we may see a weak cold front. Greg is back with the extended weather forecast when our news returns. Stay with us.
In what we do at Best Brew, it really doesn't end when the customer purchases our product. We offer specialty coffee, tea, spices, and brewing equipment. We do a lot of our orders via website. We actually have the mobile service and the phone service and the internet. So having business in a box really kind of brought everything together for us and helps us to be able to provide the customer services that we pride ourselves on.
At RBC, we're proud to support Alive's Ultimate Business Makeover campaign for a second year. We know that micro, small, and medium businesses are vital to our economy. They drive innovation, and more importantly, they create jobs. By investing in their growth, we're fostering economic success, and together we can pave the road to a thriving business community.
Hey, Greg Thompson here, and thank you for watching. Be sure to hit that follow button. And if you want to see more content like this, follow all of our news social media pages. And hey, don't forget to turn on your notifications so you never miss out on the top stories from the team you already trust.
The moment we've been waiting for is here. Carifta 2025 is taking over, and RTV is bringing you every thrilling moment. It's time to rally behind Team Bahamas as they go for gold, glory, and greatness. Feel the energy as we witness the best athletes the Caribbean has to offer. April 19th through the 21st, live from Hazley Crawford Stadium, Port of Spain, Trinidad. Catch every sprint, every throw, every victory exclusively on RTV. Plus, Don't miss our daily updates from
This is Our News. Welcome back. Lovely evening setting up for us on the outdoors. High pressure is in charge. A dry air mass still with us as that weak frontal boundary hangs out near the southeast Bahamas. Most of the activity really across the island of Hispaniola, but we will continue to enjoy some very dry conditions tonight, and that will take us into tomorrow. But we do expect a frontal boundary, a very weak one, that's going to be dropping into Florida by the early parts of tomorrow and should move into the northwest Bahamas by tomorrow afternoon. We'll show that in our extended forecast. But once that frontal boundary goes through, it's going to merge with the one towards the southeast. High pressure will dominate our weather, and we're looking for some very quiet weather for the upcoming week. Future forecast showing the moisture source of that frontal boundary down near the southeast Bahamas. Not much in terms of any significance, but there comes that front. Some shower activity expected with it, but it's going to drop towards the southeast through Saturday, and when reaches to the southeast Bahamas, we expect it to merge with that frontal boundary well to the south. And once again, a dry air mass with high pressure will be building in for the upcoming week. Boating forecast, looking very nice on the waters tonight through tomorrow. The winds will fall off light and variable, but mainly out of the south tonight in the northwest Bahamas, becoming west and northwest once that frontal boundary goes through. 10 to 15 knots expected for your speeds. Seas 2 to 4 feet. High tide is at 8:03 tonight. Your low tide takes place at 2:21 in the morning for the central and southeast Bahamas. Variable winds tonight, becoming northwest and north at 10 knots tomorrow. Seas will be up to 2 to 3 feet over open waters. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In the extended forecast, with that frontal boundary coming into our neck of the woods by tomorrow, we'll keep some showers in the forecast. Temperatures will stay near the 80-degree mark. Slight cool down after that front goes through Sunday and Monday, and that should take us into Tuesday, but temperatures will start to warm up by the middle of next week. But we're looking at some very quiet and lovely weather for the upcoming week. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night and have a great weekend, everybody.
All right, looks great. Thanks so much, Greg. And with that, we thank you for joining us for Our News Tonight. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Natalia Hall. We'll see you tomorrow night. Have a great evening.